Don't worry, big guy. We got this in the bag.
Yep.
This court finds in favor of Big Macintosh for one hits Trailblazer's plagiarism of the Apple vendor's near-exact life events. Mr. Trailblazer is no longer allowed to copy anybody else's life experiences, or else shall incur a large fine, community service, lifetime in jail, or death. That is all. Case dismissed.
Objection!
So tell me if you've heard this one before. A stallion is attempting to accomplish a task, gets swept up in a local festival, bumping into numerous ponies and getting into various shenanigans, directly or indirectly helping folks in the process, and while not having the best day at face value, looks back and takes pride in all that he accomplished. Sound familiar? Well, it should, because that's the plot of Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair starring Big Mac. I mean, wow. You know, while G5 may not have the best storytelling when compared to G4, at least it was trying something original to differentiate itself from Friendship is Magic. Here, they're ripping off one of the first and best comics from G4, MLP, the only show that can rip itself off. But okay, derivativeness aside, is the comic any good? Well, Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair was 2 issues, while this is a single issue. How do you think it turned out? With that being said, we're gonna do a little compare and contrast today and see why Gazebo Repair was executed so well and why this comic, or Gazebo Repair 2.0, fails in every way. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's get something else out of the way first. So remember in the last issue we saw Discord apparently prepping his final plans to win magic from Equestria? Something that has some real-world ramifications that could affect every pony's lives? Well, in this comic they do bring up Discord's mission in a throwaway line. Do these guys have no sense of urgency? Look, the G4 comics had a good combination of slice of life and adventure stories, but you know what made them manageable? It was the fact that they kept both types of stories contained and separate from one another. Fun and wackiness with slice of life, and epic storytelling in the adventure stories. It feels like Discord is almost an afterthought to our heroes at this point. Imagine the attack on Cairo Station in Halo 2, and the Master Chief is aware that a bomb is gonna blow up the station and kill everyone, including him. But on the way to the bomb, he suddenly gets hungry and decides to go to the mess hall and have a bite to eat. And then the bomb goes off. Complete the Discord magic arc, and then make some slice of life stuff. This isn't hard. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the actual comic itself. So, what's the plot? It's the first day of autumn, and also the Harvest Day celebration in Maritime Bay, and Hitch has volunteered his services to be the festival's DJ, because he's a DJ now. Sure, why not?
I'll believe that when my ship turns purple and smells like rainbow shopping.
Big Mac's day also started out rather mundane, with him having to fix a squeaky board in a gazebo. Upon finding he has no nails, he has to venture into town to locate some, but unfortunately, the Summer Wrap-Up Festival bars his way. And from here, the watered-down version of Gazebo Repair begins to show its shortcomings. First off, this is supposed to be a festival, i.e., look busy. When Big Mac is roaming around the festival, the place looks packed and lively, with frames packed to the brim with townsfolk and various activities. And while not every page had a ton of ponies, the background looked bold, distracting the reader enough to make it look like a proper celebration. And we do see Big Mac participate in a wide variety of events, and it's fun watching the big guy do all these various activities. And the artwork has so much energy, making it that much more entertaining. In this comic, the opening shot is absolutely devoid of townsfolk despite the scheduled festival. And when we get to the festival actual, the place is like a ghost town. Oh sure, there are booths and various activities, but some of them only have a couple ponies or not at all. That obstacle course is completely desolate. Look at the stage and crowd shot. The dude is literally by himself. And yes, I know more ponies on this side would block the crowd on the other side, but still, it looks only mildly packed. The activities that Hitch participates in are so hyper-abridged that we don't get a good chance to soak everything in, and it just feels dull and lifeless. The booths in Gazebo Repair had typical ones you'd find in a festival, but had some unique fun ones as well as adding variety to the background along with a good amount of decorations. Here it's just generic booths for the most part, and some of these tents don't even have a sign, with some decorations only here and there. The original also benefits from having Andy Price as the artist, who gets so creative in designing the overall look at the festival, making the colors on ponies and objects pop, taking a unique way to frame and tell the story of Big Mac's various plights. And of course, you have Andy's over-the-top facial expressions, of which there are no shortage of. Back to this issue, the palettes are much softer and the art style is comparatively much more simplistic. I can't say it's unappealing, but in comparison, it doesn't feel as lively or polished. But okay, those are just visual concerns. Let's get into the actual story. Now, the actual plot of both comics are rather simple. Gazebo Repair is about Big Mac finding some nails. This comic has Hitch attempting to get to his DJ booth. And as I said earlier, each protagonist gets into shenanigans attempting to accomplish their goal. In Gazebo Repair, ponies are constantly pulling Big Mac aside against his will to help them with various activities. And Big Mac, being the strong, kind, silent guy who can't say no, is what makes these situations comedic as we see him attempt to endure everything, all the while communicating his frustrations in the form of his thoughts. Every pony he interacts with doesn't do this out of malice, it's either out of desperation or to provide an experience for him. He gets frustrated, even angry at times, but he does have some fun along the way despite the distractions. In this comic, Hitch only interacts with his friends, and their requests really don't lead to any comedic outcomes. He's given a task by his friends, but other than being pulled apart from one friend to another, he's able to accomplish it with relative ease with no consequences. Plus, he only gets kinda frustrated because he can't say no to his friends. He is naturally very loyal to said friends, which makes him so agreeable, but anger and frustrations are normal emotions, and it would have made his plight feel so much more organic and the resolution much more meaningful if the story showed him more stressed. There's even this bit in the beginning where he mentions he can't DJ without his headphones, and I figured he'd lose them at some point, but nope. Nothing ever comes of it. Chekhov's gone. If you introduce something, it has to pay off. As for the endings in Gazebo Repair, Big Mac realizes that despite the shortcomings, he had a great day with his friends and townsfolk and helped a bunch of ponies in the process. With the lesson being, your journey may not go the way you want, but you can still enjoy it along the way. And then of course, there's that hilarious ending of the gazebo being destroyed by the CMC's fireworks.
Fuck!
In this comic, Hitch arrives just in time for a set and everything goes well, with his friends even repaying the favor, decorating and helping him set up. I get we're going for a kindness repays kindness lesson, but it really would have been much stronger if it were similar to, say, Rarity Takes Manhattan, and how overgenerosity can lead to negative consequences. Be kind, but be conservative to ensure that your own self is good, which would have worked so much better in this scenario. In the end, this is a dull, predictable, watered-down version of a much better comic. If you've never read Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair, do it. It is a funny and fantastic comic. Skip this one and go with the original. Well, that's it for today, guys. Until next time, MC out!